Hey guys, it's Stass here. It's been a while. So we're here with a beer. This is Phil's Wish version, I don't know. I brewed this version up because I won, I can't remember if I mentioned this, I won my homebrew club's You Be the Judge, I didn't win, I came second place to a mead. Our homebrew club, Honey United Brewing, holds an event at Bitter and Twisted, which is a craft beer festival at Maitland Jail. Actually, it's held every year, and our homebrew club runs a You Be the Judge event. So club members were invited to brew up a beer, doesn't matter what style. So I brewed up Phil's Wish with substituting Munich for the caramel malts, and I dialed back the Simcoe a bit. So this I changed the base malt a little bit. Used Gladfield American Ale malt instead of the ale malt. I find it's a little bit drier, a little bit lighter, and I actually did a side-by-side, maybe not side-by-side, but two videos with the hot steep method, comparing these two malts with some crisp malts that I was sent by Beer Co. Anyway, this was part of the, I bottled this up just before I left to go down to Melbourne, and apparently it came second place in the You Be the Judge. This is members of the public just rating it on how they thought the beer was. So cheers. I find this one a little bit grainier, a little bit like the malt huskiness. It doesn't have the sweetness that I tend to like in my IPAs. And interestingly enough, I dry hop this late. Normally I tend to dry hop about when the fermentation's in the last maybe 8 points, so 10-20 or so. This is fully fermented out. I used the Gigi Yeast 001, that's what I had. And yeah, I find it's not as pungent as it normally is, so I think you get a little bit more utilization. Sorry about that. Everything's fine, I'm sure. It's not mine. A little bit more utilization of the hop oils if you dry hop just a little bit before the end of fermentation. So anyway, been a bit of a crazy couple of weeks. It started off not long after my last video. I headed over to Perth, and it's like 3,000 k's to the west, for about 72 hours for a mate's wedding. It's a mate that I've known since high school, so it was great to catch up with him and all our friends and stuff. So we had a great time, but not a lot of sleep. However, I was contacted by someone who's been a subscriber of mine who lives in Perth, and said, hey, if you want to catch up, if you've got time, I'd love to catch up. So I ended up saying, yeah, that'd be great. So I got in touch with Chris. Chris, if you're watching, cheers. He very nicely came and picked me up from, what's the name of the park? Kings Park, I think, in Perth. Feeling a little bit seedy and hungover from the night before, but I soldiered on. He came pick me up, took me back to his house. He had 8 taps. I think there was 7 beers on tap. They're all really nice. Wide range of stuff. His 2 little girls. It was quite funny having this little 5-year-old saying Stass, asking me questions. It was great. And then we went out to Dutch Trading Company for some dinner, and I met up with some my other friends, and we had a great night. And I went and caught the red eye home. Ooh yeah, I hate that flight. Anyway, the next weekend, well, the next Thursday, we got in the car and we drove south to Melbourne, another 1,000 k's south, to go for another friend of ours' wedding. And you know, while I was there, I went to stomping grounds and caught up with a whole heap of my old work colleagues and friends who I hadn't seen in ages, which was an awesome night. The beers were really top notch at stomping grounds. If you're ever in Melbourne and you have a chance to go see them, yeah, they're in Collingwood. Yeah, Collingwood. Really great space, awesome for kids, and yeah, just a big beer hall, and every beer that I had was great. So stomping grounds, yes, tick for that one. I also caught up with Gash. I just popped in because he couldn't make stomping grounds, but I wanted to see him, so popped in. Didn't take any footage. Well, he took some footage. He said he wasn't going to use it. Probably wise. It's just, yeah, we just popped around for half an hour and caught up. I also swang by Beer Co HQ to pick up some malts and hops and some yeast. Saved myself some postage. So yeah, bought a 25 kilo of ale malt and a couple of other things. But yeah, also filmed a video with Dermot talking about how to resolve a stuck fermentation. I'll put a card up to it. Yeah, it's good fun, good for a chat. You know, Dermot's always great for a chat, always up for a chat. Yeah, so it's really good. And then we drove home after the wedding, which was a great wedding. Yeah, so I think in the last 2 weeks I've travelled, I don't know, 8,000 kilometres, of which 2,000 or 3,000 of which were driving. I'm just a bit tired. What else has been happening? I just had word that I ordered one of the DigiBoil 35 litre boilers from Kegland. It's 150 bucks, same cost as a Grainfather sparge water heater, and this one I can double as a full boil if I want to do a double batch. Yeah, it's 150 bucks. That has been dispatched from Melbourne today, so hopefully next video I'll be able to do an unboxing, run you through what I think about it and all that sort of stuff. And I've also ordered, finally, an SS Brewtech brew bucket, the Brewmaster edition. So I've been talking about it for a long time, but I finally bit the bullet and it's ordered, and I heard it's been dispatched today as well, so the postman's going to be coming an awful lot to my place, which is fine. And I also managed to get hold of an SS Brewtech 7-gallon uni-tank. They were kind enough to send me one to have a look at. I'll do a little video, so if you have any questions about what you want me to look at, if there's anything specific or you want me to try to do, hopefully I'm going to have it for a couple of weeks. So I'm going to try and punch through a couple of brews. I'd love to try its fermentation under pressure and a couple of other things. So if you have anything that you want me to try, leave a comment down below and I'll see if I can get through all of them. But yeah, pretty action-packed video. Oh, sorry about the shaking. Action-packed in terms of it's been a while and a lot of stuff's been going on. So I'm going to continue to drink this beer in this, well, it was nice sunny weather, but it's now starting to get a little overcast. It's still in the mid 20s here, so it's very pleasant. So I hope you're all having a great week or month or whenever it is that I next make a video, and we'll talk to you soon. So until then, this is Stass from Stass Brewing, signing out. Cheers.